you need a difficult goal. You need a goal that you kind of almost question that you can achieve it. So maybe that's becoming a doctor, top level lawyer, top level accountant. Maybe that's becoming a top level entrepreneur or salesperson that sells yachts and expensive houses. If you have a very difficult goal, then it inspires you to work harder. It forces you to get out of bed because you know that you want to achieve that. And since you want to achieve that, you just feel more motivated to work because you know that you're going to be working towards that goal. And if you have a relatively let's say it's a very achievable goal. Um Maybe your goal is to be like a dog walker. Just like random thing. Nothing wrong with dog walkers, but I'm just saying. So anyone can pretty much be a dog walker, right? Like you don't really have to think that hard. You don't really have to like do any fancy like education. You can just go out and walk dogs. But if you want to do something difficult, there's normally a barrier to that. There's like a selection process. You have these achievements that you have to meet to get to the next challenge. So if you're an accountant, there's like several different levels of assessments that you need to do to improve what you can do. Similar thing for being a doctor as well. You first have to get into med school. That's very difficult. Then after you become, a medical student, you have to do internships. After you do internships, there's all these other steps in order to specialize. So it's a difficult goal with many different challenges, and you are shaped by those challenges. Whatever next level you have to get to, you have to change as a person. You have to change your strategies because the things that got you to where you were initially, or that first level of success, isn't going to be the things that get you to the next level of success. So you have to make sure that you change your strategies. You try and improve your approaches to everything, and you'll find that by actually having a difficult goal, something challenging, you get so much more meaning in your life. If you have something that's so simple, you don't feel like you're working towards your potential. Like if you feel like you're challenging yourself, that you're constantly changing, then you feel like life has more meaning. Like it's almost like when you're playing a video game. The reason why games feel so addictive is because you're constantly improving your character. And life is a bit like a game. Like you're constantly improving your character. And your brain has been hardwired through evolution to seek improvement, to seek dopamine. And you can really use that dopamine to motivate you to do better. Because let's say you're I don't know, let's say you're starting a business, whatever some random business is, and when you get your first client, that's like the first hit of dopamine, and you're like, oh my god, I got my first client, and then that client comes through, and then your next client, you get like another hit of dopamine. Then maybe you like realize that you can make it into like a brand, so you can make a logo, then you can make a website, and as you see everything come together, you get like so much more like dopamine. A similar thing happens for fitness. As you get stronger in the gym, you feel like you're getting more dopamine. You just look at yourself in the mirror and you just look a lot better. And that just keeps compounding because then, you start looking better. Maybe you look less fat. Maybe you look more muscular if you're starting from a skinnier end. And then you look at yourself like, oh, the clothes are fitting me better now. That's great. That's really good. And, people are giving me more attention. That's like really cool as well. That didn't happen before. And you get these like little hits of dopamine that tell your brain to keep on going. So those little hits of dopamine happen at every step of achieving your goal. As you move closer towards it, you get hit with dopamine. And when you have this big goal, it's almost like it's like a level of anticipation happening. And it's a bit like gambling. The reason why gambling is so addictive is that it's not because you're winning the money, it's because your brain is anticipating winning the money. So I'm not saying I do any gambling, but I know how they work. So as the roulette wheel is spinning, that's when you get the most amount of dopamine. Like you're waiting for an outcome. And then when you hit it, that's when, like you either want to do more or less. But generally speaking, those machines are designed to increase the time that you're anticipating something to happen. So if you have a difficult goal and you're working towards it, that's a very long level of anticipation. And as you anticipate to reach that goal, and as you're working towards that goal, you get more dopamine, you get more motivation to achieve that. Ideally, you want to pick a goal where it either gives you enough money to live very comfortably, either gives you the lifestyle that you want to live comfortably, or some other type of perk. Maybe it's just really cool. Maybe if you want to be like a special forces officer or something, like that can be something that you've always wanted to do. That can be something that you feel very privileged to do. So that's why you really need a difficult goal